what if Kylo Ren, we find out, has the soul of Maul?
So I think Darth Maul's coming back in clone form.
He saves them because he kills the Emperor because he's like, this is what you get for having a side piece when I should have been your main bitch this whole time.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Filup Molina. This is Rogue Theory. Today we are talking about JJ Abrams spilling all kinds of beans in a last-minute interview about Rise of Skywalker. I'm super excited to get into this. I already heard a little sneak peek at you guys' theories, and I'm down for some of them. With me, speaking of these people, are Erik Voss,
Yay.
Tommy Bechtold,
Yay.
and Marina Mastros.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Marina's name is correct down here this time. On this episode,
I felt better when I was mod, really.
We all do. Not when you are, when we are also mod. And Tommy, I pronounced that right? Tommy? Yeah. Great. On this episode, we're going to talk also about the relevance of Superman, as in, is he? Mm-hmm. But we'll get back to that. The promotional push for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is going full force, and director JJ Abrams has been doing a lot of interviews and dropping little nuggets that hint at what is going on in this movie. Specifically, he mentioned two things that piqued a little interest.
Yes.
One, he hated to see that Darth Maul died so early in the prequels.
Yep.
Remember, he created a new story for the current film, but he hated that character wasn't usable. Rise of Skywalker is the second thing. Also, is going to close all of the lingering threads of the trilogies.
That's
the
an
three
insane
trilogies. A goal, right?
Yeah.
I have a great
much.
idea for that. End crawl.
just
Opening
go
crawl, ending crawl.
All the words
Yeah,
spill
you
back
just
out
write
on
it.
us.
This is what happened to Boba Fett and all this stuff. But so we're all Star Wars fans. We all know that Darth Maul actually didn't die in that moment in Phantom Menace. What? No, we knew that. So is Darth Maul going to appear in some way or another in Rise of Skywalker, or just in general, will he have an impact on Rise of Skywalker? Let's go, Rogue.
Let's go Rogue on the cup.
Are we ringing
and
this?
boop.
Yeah, go ahead and just slap your buzzer, your wet buzzer. Wet buzzers.
Buzzing in on Maul. He is now known as Maul, technically, after he didn't die on Naboo. He decided to leave the Sith Order behind, and he continued forward with his rage against the Emperor for kind of leaving him, abandoning him, and taking on new apprentices, whatever. I think Maul will come back in some way in Rise of Skywalker. I think that's what what his cameo in Solo was all about. I don't think he will be alive in the present form because, so far in Rebels, we see him die. He gets in a duel with Obi-Wan. They have a rematch, and he dies. So I think, however he comes back, however Plagueis, however Darth Sidious comes back, could be the way Maul comes back. And I think this is really all about the Emperor. I think rewatching the prequels, I think the Phantom Menace is really the story of the Emperor's rise, and I think the fact that the Emperor is coming back in the Rise of Skywalker is going to be the pivotal plot point. And I think whatever his way of coming back, I think we're going to see whatever the Sith figured out was the key to immortality is through reincarnation.
Or animatronics.
Reincarnation. You're saying
Like
something
Chuck E.
different.
Cheese?
I was imagining the Hall of Presidents. It's just
yeah.
You just pitched a completely different word that has nothing to do with what I was saying.
I was trying to read your lips
You
because
really just
I'm
killed a
listening
robot.
to something else. Yeah.
Were you trying to say reanimation?
What you're saying is the bad robot of JJ Abrams' production company title is Sidious? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Give yourself a rogie.
Sure.
Give yourself a
rogie.
rogue. Treat yourself to a rogie.
No, wait, I'm not listening to you. What's happening
Okay.
here? What is the secret to reincarnation? How do they bring him back?
He has found a way, because the Jedi have Force ghosts. I think the Sith don't know fully how to make Force ghosts, but I think they can take someone's essence, their spiritual, their thetan, depending on your beliefs, and embed it in a new vessel, a new flesh puppet, as we've called it.
A meat puppet? Yeah.
What if Kylo Ren, we find out, has the soul of Maul
Whoa.
in his spirit?
That would explain a lot.
He's sharing the space, like
roomies.
Yeah, or Perfect Strangers.
He is,
the sitcom.
or what if he's
Standing tall.
reincarnated? He is reincarnated Maul, and he doesn't realize his past life was as Maul. Another angle we could go: what if Maul's soul split into Rey and Kylo? That's why they're linked. That's why we see Rey with the dual wield lightsaber in the trailer footage. They're gonna find out that they are both the reincarnated essence essence of Darth Maul. And in the Emperor's spirit, who is reincarnated in someone else, maybe it was Snoke, maybe it was someone we haven't seen yet or hasn't been revealed yet, is going to reveal that to them, that all the souls are all linked. And that's why all these things feel so derivative, is everyone's souls are just reincarnated in new vessels generation after generation.
Whoa.
Animatronic vessels.
Animatronic.
Bad robot.
Yeah.
Give yourself a roadie.
Yeah.
No, give Eric a rogie.
Yay!
Not for the second part. The second part I'm not sure about.
The reincarnation? So which part? Your robot
the
part?
splitting Darth Maul's soul, a little bit in you, a little bit in you, but
It's like
I am
salt and
into...
pepper.
But it
A dash here.
calls back to Han Solo's line in Force Awakens. He's got too much Vader in him. What if it's not too much Vader in him? What if it's too much Maul in him?
So it's
There
not
you
a
go.
callback then to what Han Solo said.
Thank you. Thank you, Philip.
It
That's
calls
how
back
I learned.
to
Thank you.
You said it calls back to a line and then you change the
No,
line.
it calls back. It pays service to that line where like Han Solo's instinct was
an
correct.
homage.
He just had the wrong Sith Lord.
Yeah.
According to Han, all the Jedi and the Sith, it's a myth. You know, when we catch up with him in
right.
A New
What's a
Hope,
myth?
all the legend of the Force, he calls it some goofy
Yes.
religion he doesn't believe in.
Right.
So yeah, figures like Maul would just be like made up to him.
Okay, fine. I like your theory.
Tommy, go ahead and give him a Tommy.
No, I don't want a Tommy. I'm good.
Patches of skin.
Oh, God.
Now you can clone me.
Yeah. Now you have two of those. Okay, Tommy, what's your theory?
Well, my theory is going to blow the doors off this whole Millennium Falcon. It's all about clones, baby. We're in the clone zone. Clone zone.
Hashtag clone zone.
Yeah. Exactly. Hashtag clone zone. Hashtag Tommy's Tykes. Hashtag Thanksgiving.
Tommy's Tykes.
I
His
think
children.
That's
that
my
you're
charity
raising?
organization
Oh, sweet.
where I give children away. It's more like Peter Pan. So anyway, I think Darth Maul is going to come back in clone form. I think a lot of our old friends are coming back in clone form.
Wow.
George Lucas loves clones. In fact, he named a whole movie after him.
That's
so
true.
I
Phantom
think
Menace.
Darth Maul's coming back with gorgeous legs, his own cloned legs. Much like my dog Buddy, we're bringing him back. He's not the same, but he's close. Okay?
So
we're
that's
gonna-
Pet Cemetery.
We buried Maul in a pet cemetery.
Yeah.
No. We cloned my dog. It was very expensive and not that fun. So I think Darth Maul's coming back in clone form. I think that opens the door for other dead Star Wars characters to come back, tying this whole thing together. I think it's going to be like, like when a show ends and they bring everyone back for a cameo,
Oh,
like
yeah,
on a sitcom,
yeah,
like
yeah.
when Steve came back at the end of Full House. I think that's Darth Maul's purpose here. He's going to come back in and be like, did someone say mauled? And
And
they're
then
like,
there's an applause
Yeah.
break. That's
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
they're like, no, Ray was just mauled by a lightsaber. Oh, sorry. I'll see myself out.
It's Dave Coulier. I feel like that's kind of what I was imagining in Eric's theory too, a little bit why that would make sense. Of we have no idea how we're going to see Sidious, but maybe it is kind of let's bring everybody back.
Jokes aside, I do actually think that there is going to be a cloning element in this movie. I think I'm not the only one, obviously, that's been theorized and even mentioned in interviews. So I believe the most likely a non-verbal character like Darth Maul, I think, had 4 or 5 lines in Phantom Menace. A character like that, like you could bring back as a visual. You don't need him to talk again.
that's true.
Like
Sure,
he could just
yeah.
show
Yeah.
up. Like it's not something so precious that we need like a long explanation for.
Yeah.
He could show up and fight Rey or fight Kylo in one scene and then be dispatched, because clones are never as powerful as their original person.
Don't say
even
that
if he
to
just
twins.
walks in, even if he just walks in for a cameo or something. Can I get a new water, by the way? And just like they never even acknowledge it, like that'd be fine. Marina, what do you got?
Okay, mine is basically the story of a broken heart. And it's a little bit of what you said at the beginning, but it's more, think of it as a romantic comedy. So it's basically that Darth Maul now has a broken heart and he's getting his revenge because it's supposed to be that, there's one master and one student or
Yes.
one
Apprentice.
The rule of
apprentice.
2.
The rule of 2, right?
In comedy.
Yes, that golden rule of 2 in comedy. But every time he wanted to, he was the golden child, right? But then basically he just gets replaced. He got replaced by Count Dooku. He got replaced by Vader. He wanted to be, he was going to be replaced also by Luke, except he turned away. So basically he's never been the thing that he wants to be. He's like a rejected lover. It's basically like Apprentice. Darth Maul loses. And his crime syndicate is the one who brings him back.
Ooh, the Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn, and they bring him back. You know what? He could be anything. He could be a Force ghost. He could be his soul dissipated into whatever. But I actually think so. You know how he got chopped in half the first time, and then he got a robot bottom.
Robot booty. Hashtag robot booty.
New album dropping soon.
Yeah. And then he got like this through the chest, right? In the animated series, right?
Podcast listeners, she did a fantastic twirl back handspring thing.
Yeah.
It was great.
Sorry, I forgot this is also a podcast. So basically, he got stabbed he got cut in half the first time, he gets a robot booty. He gets stabbed in the chest the second time, he gets a robot heart. So basically, he comes back exactly the same. He's just has a fixed hole in his chest, and he ends up he doesn't fight Rey or Kylo Ren. He saves them because he kills the Emperor because he's like, this is what you get for having a side piece when I should have been your main bitch this whole time.
Yes.
Wow. Here's why Marina's gonna get a silver Rogi.
Yes.
He was literally and figuratively brokenhearted.
Those are worth 100. Those are worth 100.
Those are worth 2
Rogies.
Yay.
2 Rogies. Tommy, you got 1 earlier, but then I don't know if anyone remembers. Whenever you bring up clones, your Rogi gets cloned. So
Yes.
That's a rule.
yeah.
2
Forgot about
Rogies.
that.
Yeah. Okay, so sum them up for me again, though, Eric.
The Sith have figured out the way to immortality. It's through reincarnation, and Maul has been reincarnated as Kylo Ren.
Hashtag animatronics.
Hashtag robot.
Ooh, robot, huh?
Mine is our old Paul Maul calls Clone Zone home.
Oh yeah, you do that thing. I forgot.
No one likes it.
I like it.
Yeah. Tommy, can you do a review of yourself on this show in that form?
Tommy Bommy, no go home to mommy. Thanksgiving invitation revoked because he's a joke.
Wow,
Pretty
that's
good. That's pretty
really
good. That's pretty good.
Thanks.
And
$27,000 worth of improv classes, everyone.
$27,000.
But you just got to sell 100,000 copies of Robot Booty, your new
Yeah.
album, and
Yes, it's a slow
make a
jam,
dent.
but it's also very quick.
Yeah.
And Marina, what's yours?
Heartbroken Darth Maul gets revenge in a robot suit for being cast aside and regains his status as main bitch.
In a robot suit.
In a robot suit.
Yeah. All right.
And looks fabulous doing it.
Man, and which of these do we think is most likely?
Clone Zone.
Yeah, it might be Clone
actually,
Zone.
Yeah, it might be.
So let's give you a little baby Rogi, a little
nice.
quarter
My little
Rogi.
Boba clone. My little Jango Fett clone in the form of Boba. Guy?
No, it's a quarter block of wood. But your imagination is beautiful.
Great.
Speaking of, imagine if we had sponsors. How about this?
Hey guys, Eric here. Just a reminder that New Rockstars is offering exclusive rewards to our patrons in the form of bonus videos each month. For November, I did an in-depth breakdown of the opening sequence of Raiders of the Lost Ark and how it so perfectly defined Indiana Jones as a hero and foreshadowed everything to follow in that film, including Nazis' heads exploding. You can get exclusive access to that video along with lots of other behind-the-scenes content and just a general good feeling of helping this channel grow by becoming an official patron of New Rockstars Digital Studios. Just go to patreon.com/newrockstars. Again, that's patreon.com/newrockstars.
And we're back. Guys, Variety put out an article this week. I know, right? Variety's still around.
Print
What?
media still exists?
Oh my God.
And they're basically questioning the relevance of Superman. Now, obviously, there's currently a Superman who has no intention to stop being this character, but also they're kind of referencing the recent incarnations of Superman and just saying that it hasn't really resonated with audiences recently. Now they're also talking to Michael B. Jordan about potentially playing the role, and they're thinking this might be a way to kind of awaken interest in the character. Or maybe not. Who knows, right? That's kind of my question for you guys. I want to hear your theories on a way you could bring Superman back into relevance and make him relevant to today's audience.
I mean, are we saying that he's not? I mean, like, we might be arguing, like, for that he is still relevant, right? Like, I kind of side, you know, this caused an ordeal on the internet, and I kind of side with the internet, right? Like, I kind of say, like, he is still relevant. He's extremely relevant now, probably, maybe more than ever, right? Because, I mean, okay, to be fair, I should be pitching a Superman version where he's not a white dude. He's like a Mexican woman who like is the savior of humanity. However, yeah, and queer. Oh, yes. Yes. But But Terminator Dark Fate already did that. And by the way, go see it. So good. It's been out forever. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to keep Superman as a straight white. I mean, he can be gay if he wants to. Let him do it. Let him do what he wants to do. But he's still white. He's still a dude. And I think it's very important right now, especially for us to see as an American society and an international society, an example of a white dude with enormous amounts of privilege in being white and being a dude, but also physically he's superhuman, right? Yeah. That he uses that privilege for good. He doesn't come into power and just exploit everybody, and like is happening right now, like big banks, you know, everything that you get to have a big influence on everything. You buy politicians, you buy whatever laws you want. You basically get power and you misuse it. But this said, I'm saying we need to go back to humble guy who is a great example of what we have as the ideal like American guy, right? It's like defender of the weak, you know, Robin Hood type stuff. And he's protecting people and as he's supposed to, and I think it's very relevant. But the only reason that Superman is good at all is because of he was raised by good parents. So the one thing that I will do that is still very me is change his parents out for Midwestern white people and they're Midwestern farm workers, not farm owners. So they're my people, they're Mexicans, and they are farm workers. They adopt him because he still lands in a big old thing in their backyard and they're like, oh crap.
They're queer.
So, they're queer, yes. He arrives in a sparkly little egg. And they raise him to be a good person, and he uses his privilege for to protect people and to save the world like he should. And we all get to see an example of that. And basically, he saves the world all over again by being in this movie.
But what if he uses that privilege to like make a country club and use trickle down economics? That arguably lifts the rising tide of all boats.
Eventually, everyone will get superpowers if you.
Marina, I'm super into this idea.
Yeah,
Actually,
I love that.
I'm super into what you're saying because you're saying that he is relevant. Shut up. Like,
Yes, yeah.
This is the time that we need
This
the
is
person
correct.
to remind us of morality.
Yeah.
And just because you've been given power doesn't mean that you're given a blank slate on any. You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
And that feels great. Eric also was reminding me, you know, that idea that absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is when he was saying that that's what happens when I host a show and I control everyone's point totals randomly.
Philip's chair is made out of rogies, so when he has to give them out, he has to
I
weaken
get a
his
little
seat.
lower. Yeah. My
down.
spine is made out of rogies.
Yeah.
But I actually do love that concept of absolute power corrupts absolutely is
But it doesn't
actually
have to.
exactly. It's actually based on the concept because people are inherently bad, and it's like, but no, we're jaded now, and it
Yeah.
feels like people are inherently bad. But I mean, you watch I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, dope. You want to watch? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Love that
Anyway,
show.
what were we talking about?
Watch party.
Yeah, no, and actually, just there's one thing that's like inherent in all those characters is they're just like good.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, I can't help it. I want to help you even if I'm mad at you or something.
Yeah.
And just that little bit of reminder of morality is actually super rare to see
Yeah.
now. It's much cooler to be The Boys or Brightburn.
Yeah.
Like that's the hip wave.
Yeah,
but honestly,
we're exploring bad
you know,
Superman right now. and
society
I
is
think-
exploring
yeah.
bad society right now.
Yeah,
too. So-
exactly.
People are inherently evil. It's that people are inherently
Yeah.
selfish and have families and get afraid if something threatens what they perceive
Which
to be
so
theirs.
you changing the parents to being migrant workers is fantastic also because it is touching on the idea of immigrants having honestly if maybe better morals than some other communities might.
I'll say it.
Yeah, so
Right?
go ahead. Yeah.
We're just better people.
No, so this fear of the immigrant influence is like, well, I don't know. I mean, like a lot of them are really Catholic, and you are very in trouble for doing anything when you're Catholic.
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spoken like a
Superman's
true Catholic,
boy.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I'm into it. Sharon
Yay.
DeRogi. Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm gonna go down the Michael B. Jordan path now,
Ooh.
which is
Yeah,
my
let's
favorite
see it.
path to go down. You know me.
Mine too.
I'm Showbiz Bechtold. Everybody knows that about me. I'm reading Variety every day. It's my Bible. Okay, it's my scripture. I
pointed at the doctor with a finger gun when you were born. I remember.
That's right.
That's
right. That's right.
And a wink.
Then the doctor tried to slap me, and I caught his hand, and I said, "Not gonna happen today, doc."
I need this face.
He was like, "Medically, we have to do this." So anyway,
it's the law.
it was crazy. We ended up brokering a 4-year deal. They thought I would only live 4 years, but I made it. So I'm glad you mentioned The Boys, because this has got some themes of The Boys in it. I am calling my pitch Superman Incorporated. So Superman lands.
Kids Inc.
Superman, we'll give him the same origin. He lands ship into a farm, and he has migrant worker parents. No, I'm just kidding. He has George and Martha, beautiful white Christian parents. And the difference is that his talents and abilities start to spread like rumors, like wildfire. People start to notice there's this kid in Smallville, Kansas, who's got these exceptional abilities, and he begins to receive attention from giant corporations, Apple, Amazon, Disney, and they start to groom him as though, or start to recruit him as though he was a star quarterback being recruited by Alabama. They start to maybe a car shows up in his driveway. All the underside of college sports where they're getting bribes and they're taking money that ultimately only screws them over, as the institutions are unassailable for some reason. So my story is the story of a young Clark Kent having to deal with the pressures of having these abilities, and then also outside forces trying to monetize it rather than just use it for good, because that's what our society tends to do. They see a dollar bill available and they grab it rather than fostering it.
Unfettered capitalism.
So where does the hero fall on this? Is he into it?
Well, he's conflicted because he is from a modest upbringing. He's, he grew up on a farm. He had to work very hard, and here's an opportunity for him to have,
everything
really.
he wants.
The reality is, Superman could walk into a bank, punch the vault open with his hand, and take the money out. But here is a legal pathway for him to make millions and millions of dollars and make billions and billions of dollars for these corporations, and it's tempting. The life is tempting. When you watch movies like He Got Game or Blue Chips, it's like, they're throwing women in front of him, they're throwing money in front of him, they're throwing access to things. They're giving him opportunities to go to fancy parties, they're giving him opportunities to go to concerts and stuff like that. So maybe, as a younger kid, he's a little more corruptible. So we see the ultimate Ubermensch, as we were saying, that is Superman, that is just the perfect man. And then we see, when he's 18, maybe he's a little more susceptible to outside influences. So that struggle. Is
it Citizen Kane where he's adopted by a rich family or something, and he leads this other life? I'm imagining, just going back into your own story, he is still raised by these beautiful whites, and
gorgeous whites. I call them #flawless whites.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Pearls.
Yeah. So these two pearls. So he's raised by them, and they are raising him very well and with these good morals. And then I wonder if a rich Lex Luthor comes along, or Lionel Luthor maybe, to raise him up, and he's the one that's you know what? Add it to my spine.
Your spine.
Does it hurt?
It looks like I just shoved it up my ass. I'm like, okay.
We're not cutting that. Do not cut that.
Yeah, you have to keep that.
It comes back out round. No.
I like that. I think that's a great adjustment to that. I think that's a really nice time.
I'm super into this. I'm following it. I like all of it. How is this the Michael B. Jordan route?
Well, I think he's already in tremendous shape from both the Creed movies. He's got the physical stature to fill out the suit. He's not going to be an Adam West Batman. You know what I mean? He's a ripped, good-looking, young, athletic-looking guy.
Shots fired, Adam West.
Rest in peace, West.
Exactly.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, you're in the best shape you've ever been now.
Oh, yeah, he's rail thin. Oh, no. Cut it. I think Michael B. Jordan would be the perfect, whenever you see a Sports Illustrated cover of the next big thing in Major League Baseball or soccer or basketball or anything, it's always this really handsome guy in almost a Superman pose.
Right.
I just could totally see Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he's almost maybe getting a little too old to play, a college age kid, but I don't know. We just made Al Pacino look 15 in The Irishman. Isn't that what that's about? A 15-year-old Al Pacino learning about selling ice cream in the Bronx.
Sure.
I don't know. Look it up on Netflix. Where stories happen.
They do just happen.
So it's just fan casting. It's not you're not bringing it to the relevance.
All I was doing was just tying in the original article. Variety wrote an article today.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
And I love print media. Variety, like I said, is my scripture.
Where stories happen.
Yes.
Great. I'm super into it. Tommy, you earned yourself another Rogie.
Wow.
What'd you do to your quarter Rogie? Why did it get all crap all over it?
Oh, I ate a lot of powdered sugar this morning. And
Just
coughed some
a
of it.
bag of powdered sugar just reaching in.
That's right. It's my sugar sack. Hashtag sugar sack.
Mainlined
gets everywhere.
some powdered sugar.
I hate powdered sugar.
Yeah, I
you
don't want
cook
to
it over
clog my nose
spoon.
up, so I just eat it now.
Great. And then Eric, what do you got?
It's a little phallic.
No
That is
matter
not
what shape
phallic.
you put it in, it's going to be
It is
phallic.
for me. This is for
I was about to say,
this
Tommy.
is the scale.
Oh, shit.
If that's okay.
I think there is definitely relevancy to Superman's story, and that I think when they first published Action Comics #1, it was in 1938. It was in the late 30s, and that's when Superman started to become popular. It was during World War II, when fascism was rising. He was fighting Nazis in the comics. We've seen this with Wonder Woman. They put her in World War I in her recent film with Captain America, the First Avenger. That was during World War II, and when you're trying to show a good Boy Scout who tells us to rise to our higher moral character, you kind of need to do a nostalgic story to put them in a simpler time when there was clearly defined lines between good and evil. And so I would love to see a Superman story that is set in the late 30s, early 40s, when this critical existential battle between our angels and our demons was being waged. And weirdly, it's come back. It's we've forgotten that history, and we've forgotten the telltale signs of what it looks like when fascism starts to rise, and people start to call the media fake news, and people start to just concentrate power around dictatorships and strongmen around the world. It's not just in America; it's everywhere. It's happening.
Yeah.
Can I
now.
ask for some context clarity here? Are we talking closer 1939, closer to 1945, and are we talking more Europe? Are we talking more America?
I'm thinking we're thinking in America, because if you're watching Watchmen right now, and if you listen to the Watchmen podcast, which is awesome, there were 20,000 American Nazis who rallied in Madison Square Garden before World War II erupted.
That's crazy.
It was here. It was everywhere, and it
That's
still
crazy.
is. And it still is. So
Yeah,
I
you're
would
that
love
surprised?
to see.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Well, we weren't
but
alive, but
I wasn't alive.
Yeah,
I
but-
was.
Tommy was there.
Yeah.
Tommy,
No, I wasn't. I was just there selling my art.
what kind of
Hashtag
art?
Tommy sketches.
I would love to see a story that's set before the war erupts, right? I would love to see a story that's set before the war erupts, when you see these telltale signs starting to go underneath the radar, but some people are seeing it. And I think what was interesting about Wonder Woman and Captain America is, they're fighting, enemy soldiers, but in both of those cases, those soldiers are being corrupted by some super villainy threat,
Yeah.
whether it's Ares or Hydra.
Whispered evil nothings in the air.
Right. I think it would be more powerful if we saw that humanity is capable of being dark enough on its own. And what if we just saw Superman fighting Nazis the way that we saw in Jojo Rabbit or in Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
So that's my question. Is it revisionist history? Are you going to well, obviously it is because Superman's there, but does he change the outcome of the war?
No.
Or
What if we're
severity of
set
it?
in our timeline and he fails?
Yeah.
Superman couldn't prevent the Holocaust from happening.
Maybe Nazi scientists actually discover kryptonite early enough that he's not able to
Yeah.
actually be.
That's super interesting. Yeah. They developed the formula. They were able to harvest it from their imperialist exploits in Africa. And
Actually, though, also, what was the Nazis' secret scientific endeavor? Essentially creating Superman
Yeah.
was
They
what
were
they were trying
trying
to
to,
do.
yeah.
So then this example comes along. They probably are trying to.
Maybe we have a
create
Nazi
them.
Bizarro, and that's who he's
Right,
fighting.
that's a
in the
pretty
story.
interesting
Yeah.
story, because that's also exactly if they did discover him to exist, the only thing that's going to slow him down is someone at his level.
Yeah.
So they try to create, super Nazi.
Yeah, it could be more relevant than ever, and it could be let's have a Superman who's not morally conflicted. He is a Boy Scout. We could have just an aspirational hero who doesn't have to be gritty or dark or bearded, or even too jacked. He could be the classic Superman who just wore just a normal looking dude, but he has these powers, and he inspires all of us to say no to our inner demons and make decisions that help all of humanity.
Yeah.
I really like that, but Tommy says that there's good people on both sides. So what on the other
Not
side?
what I said. I said both sides of people are good. Front and back.
Oh, gotcha. They're equally attractive and enticing.
Hashtag back and front are good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So just sum them up for me again real quick. Your Superman theory, how he'd be relevant again, or if he already is.
Very powerful guy who uses his privilege for good, and his parents are replaced not by farm owners but by farm workers, and they make him a good person.
Into it. Tommy?
Luther finds the truther, Kent bent on expense vacation. Expense Kent bent on entertainment.
Drop the expense part.
Yeah.
Superman fights fascism in the past to teach us how to fight fascism today.
Oh, nice.
I like both of your ideas very much.
Yeah.
I want to say on record.
Just because Eric technically let Hitler live.
Yeah.
That's what.
Wait, no.
Sadly, he did.
No, Hitler belongs in hell with Adam West.
We had to cut out a portion of this episode where Tommy railed against Adam West for a very long time. I know you're like, no, you left it in. And I'm like, no, it was much longer.
Yeah.
Guys, it's time for road questions.
Great.
The whole these are a lot of Adam West questions. All right, we can.
No.
I love Adam West, by the way. Just letting everyone know.
Anymore.
We'll cut that.
Keep it. No, glue it. Glue it.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Remember, none of us have seen these questions, but they can affect our point totals, and whoever wins the episode gets their wish to come true. Guys, Daisy Ridley, are you familiar?
Yes.
Oh, great. She said on Fallon, familiar? Great. This week that she likes Baby Yoda
Yeah.
better than Porgs, which
Duh.
feels like a weird comparison to make. It's I like an infant better than chickens. Make an argument for Porgs being better than Baby Yoda.
Oh.
They taste better?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Only one's been eaten by Chewbacca. That we know of.
You can make coats out of them.
Yaddle. Sorry.
You can make coats out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's off-brand for you. So you get a Rogie.
That is off-brand, yeah.
Peter, get her!
Yeah, exactly. Peter, pull her out. Great. All right, guys. Disney said this week that they probably won't have any Baby Yoda dolls for sale by Christmas.
Big mistake.
By the way, though, there is a Baby Yoda doll on eBay available that we're showing on screen right now that will give you nightmares. Only $500. Pitch me on how you can make your own Baby Yoda doll out of things you just have.
Okay, take your pet at home, right? Whatever pet you have at home, put it in a bassinet, and then take Dorito chips and stick them on their ears, and then you'll have your own Baby Yoda. Paint them green.
Yeah.
Spray paint them green.
I
Spray
feel like
paint
you
your
can-
pet's face.
Yeah, you have people dye their
PETA
dogs.
is going to have a time with you, Marina.
Yeah.
You can make one out of an avocado.
Oh,
You just take an
great.
avocado and you peel up the skin a little bit.
Ugh.
Oh, cute.
And then you smear out some of the green goo.
Yeah.
And then you get a bigger avocado.
Yeah.
And you put it on that avocado and you got an avocado.
That was pretty good.
Just because of the weird little like twang that your
Yeah.
whole
Well,
answer
you know
had,
what I'm
you
doing,
could-
right?
Avocado.
It's Huell
Hauser,
Hauser.
yeah.
California Gold.
California Gold.
There's a dog who eats avocados.
And Tommy, what do you got?
And I'll say it again. 2019 is the year of horsehair. Okay? Go out to your family stable, comb the mane of your horse Starlight, and take that hair and weave it into a Baby Yoda shape. Paint it the appropriate colors. Put it on your Etsy store. Wipe the tears from your father's face, and let the money roll in.
Your
Hashtag
family
Daddy's
stable?
tears alleviate financial fears.
Your beautiful white
Nice.
family
Your beautiful
stable.
white family sitting around
Perfect
your Christian
family
Christmas
stable.
tree.
That's right.
Tommy, just because people don't know this about you, but all 2019, and we're here at the end of 2019, you really have been giving me great uses for my family's horsehair. You get a silver Rogie.
Oh my
You've
God.
been very consistent about the horsehair, and I appreciate the commitment
Thank you.
to the cause.
Thank
Not
you.
like Marina, who is hurting animals with spray
Yeah.
paint to tag up with her tag name.
I've really changed teams.
And then, guys, finally, for real, Baby Yoda's so cute. What would you do for him? What would you do for Baby Yoda?
Oh,
What's the furthest you'd go
anything.
for Baby Yoda?
I would get a job in retail and work all major holidays at the
Ooh.
expense of spending time with my family.
If Baby Yoda is in space, right, I would become an astronaut. I would get the qualifications. I would get the scientific expertise, and I would become an astronaut, and I would launch myself into space, and I would find him, and I would adopt him as my own, and I would be his mother forever, and we would go around space together, happy forever.
Wow. Eating porgs, just chomping on porgs.
Yeah. Find those porgs, making coats, keeping warm.
You would ignore your astronaut duties, and you would immediately just
I would
keep
hijack
going.
a spaceship and go.
Like you're ignoring the terrorism element.
Marina, we sent you on a mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm on a mission all right.
Houston.
The International Space Station is rapidly losing oxygen. There's a lot of people there we're trying to save.
Baby Yoda, I'm coming! Yeah.
I would dig through the garbage for Baby Yoda because in the recent episode where he saw the thing in the dumpster, I'm like, Baby Yoda's gonna be underneath that. He's gonna have to dig through the dumpster to find Baby Yoda. I thought I would do that.
Wait, you thought Baby Yoda was in the trash too?
Yes, I thought
they
just
killed
threw
him and like
and Baby Yoda
baby
was
out with the
underneath.
bathwater?
Yeah, he's just underneath it.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a lot easier. No John Wick style firing up the stormtroopers.
Really
I just
John
thought it was
Wick.
gonna have to be a dumpster dive.
Well, Eric did the smallest thing for
really
Baby Yoda, so he
Wouldn't
gets
go
the
that
smallest
far.
little rogue.
all right.
Guys, that was it for rogue questions. Let's get some point totals. What do you guys got?
I have 4.
I have 5.
You have 5 and a quarter.
5 and a quarter. I have 4 and a quarter. So Tommy wins.
Thomas!
Hey.
You've won something.
You get your wish.
Yeah,
right.
it's
I get my
happened for
wish.
you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Not Marina.
Not me.
Not Eric.
Nope.
Tommy, I wish Philip would say the 5 words I've been waiting to hear my whole life. Well, I'm proud of you, Timmy.
Tommy.
Tinamy.
Tommy.
He literally misspelled his own name on the card.
Hashtag public
Tinamy.
education.
Yeah.
Thanks, Philip. I'm proud of you too, Dad.
Oh,
It was
Thanksgiving
a Christmas
to
miracle.
everyone.
Yeah.
A Thanksgiving miracle.
great.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble,
All right.
gobble, guys.
Guys, give it up. Tommy's last appearance on the show.
Hi.
Yeah.
I've got to go back to my home planet now.
The moon.
The Rick Explained set.
Yeah.
Great. Where can we find everybody? What are you guys doing?
I'm on Twitter at Marina Mastros, and I'm with Eric in various educational YouTube videos.
Sure.
What? This sounds like a lie.
I'm at Tommy Bechtold on all social media platforms. Please check out my show, Take It Outside, on funnyordie.com.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Thank you.
Max No Sleeves is on that.
Yes, he
if
is.
you like that
And
guy.
he's great. Watch it for
Dean
him.
Sharp is
Yeah.
on that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can find me at EA Voss. We're doing a lot more Star Wars coverage that I think you guys will really like. So we're doing a rewatch series. Empire Strikes Back is already on the channel. Return of the Jedi is coming out Friday. And then we're doing Mandalorian recaps and reviews as well. So, like, get excited and watch
Get
them.
into it.
Wait, no, let's talk about this plan for real. Thanks you guys for watching. All right, so how do we become astronauts?